Yo guys, thank you for clicking into our free video download to help you get amazing results this summer. My name is Gav Baker, I run Sana Fitness down in Warrington, and here is what you're going to get today. So mainly working with ladies, this is what we have seen for years now, that most ladies that we do work with are ex-Slimming World and Weight Watchers members. They come from those backgrounds, they go to those clubs with the best intentions of losing weight, of getting these amazing results, of being able to sustain them long term while teaching this nutrition plan to the husbands, to the kids, so they can have that long-term lifestyle that they kind of want. But unfortunately, it doesn't usually end well. We're also going to show you, again, linked to those clubs, is why you need to break away from the scales. If the sad step runs your life, so if you get on the scales and it goes down, it makes you feel happy, or you get on the scales and it goes up and it ruins your day and you want to kill your husband or your partner, this needs to change. And this is one of the hardest things that we have to do with all our clients that we kind of work with. Some people can break away from them pretty easy. Majority really struggle. And this can kind of ruin your long-term results because you can be doing really well, doing everything on track, get on the scales, the numbers not moved or gone up, and you just lose the plot. Go on a binge, throw the towel in, miss weigh-ins, do whatever you need to do. But just because the scales have gone up, it doesn't mean that you gain body fat. So we're going to talk about that. And then obviously I'm going to give you 5 quick things that you can kind of start straight away that you need to do, that myths or whatever you want to call them. If you do these straight away and kind of start building them into habits, I guarantee you will get amazing results, not only for summer, but also long-term lifestyle changes that you can teach to your kids. That's the kind of the whole thing about kind of this, and kind of is not doing something that you can't sustain long term. Health is not a fad diet. It's not giving bread up or wine up for 28 days or whatever it is. It has to be a lifestyle change, and I'll show you what we do. I'll show you kind of some tips, and hopefully you will learn what you need to learn so you can go and kind of get on with your own goals. But firstly, we're going to start on slimming clubs. Likely, I'm going to take a guess that if you're watching this, you have done at least one slimming club, probably more. Most ladies don't never do one slimming club. It's usually 5, 10 years. But what was the reason for starting it? Probably going to guess that you was going on holiday. If you could have a pill to go back to that, what you was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was, I'm guessing you would snap my hand off if I offered you that body back, that health back, that fitness back, that confidence back. Most people would, but these clubs just take you further and further away the more cycles you do. And I'm going to explain why. So I'm going to guess that you went to that first club for a girls' holiday or a holiday or a wedding. That's my reasons behind. Again, you'll probably snatch my hand off to go back there. Then your first process of going into that club, you pay someone who you should be able to trust. But unfortunately, these people who run the slimming clubs are uneducated. They don't understand nutrition. So you pay in, you get your Bible, get on the scales, get shocked at that number that's kind of come in, you give your targets in of what you want to do, and then off you go, you follow the plan. But you follow a plan which is unsustainable. This is why you kind of stop all the time, because this plan is there not to give you long-term results. It's there to keep you in the cycle. This is why they will sin food one week and then unsin it the next, even though it's the same calories, it's the same portion size, it's the same price, it's the same pot, it's made in the same factory. But because they want to just keep everything confusing and they want to keep tricking things up, they will just change things as we go. Likely, if you haven't been in the last 5 years, it's probably totally different to when you first went. But calories are exactly the same. The system is exactly the same when it comes to proper nutrition. Nutrition is really simple, but these clubs just keep complicated just to keep you in the process. And it's not really education that you kind of go, and this is why you kind of leave, because when you go into a plan, you do feel more excited, you feel more motivated. You usually go with a friend who's doing it, so you get that accountability and that social side. But you soon realize that it's not sustainable. So you give up wine, you give up chocolate, you give up crisp bread, everything that you kind of see as bad foods. But these clubs don't help you to fix that. They still drive the scales as the main slimming tool, which is an unhealthy habit to have in itself. This is why when we work with our ladies, most of them, it's really hard to break away from the scales. And most of them don't understand, even though they spend hundreds of pounds or thousands of pounds in these slimming clubs, when they come to us, they still think that they need to eat 1,000 calories. They still think that their bread is bad and chocolate is bad, and they'll still think that sugar is bad and all this kind of stuff. But it's just basically because this process that they teach, there is no education in that side of things. the sooner you learn about the basics, the sooner you're going to break away from that diet lifestyle and be able to keep and sustain the long-term results that you got. So why did you stop that plan? Why are you not doing that plan anymore? And again, it is likely because it's not sustainable, because you like certain foods. You can't do these plans and have a social life as well. You can't live off 1,000 calories and have a social life as well. Your partner probably hates the fact that he doesn't want to eat rabbit food, and you don't really get that support at home because of it. But nutrition doesn't have to be like that. Nutrition shouldn't be like that, let's say. So when you start that first diet or club years and years ago, we're going to use an example of 10 stone. So this lady books a holiday or books a wedding or whatever it is at 10 stone, goes into her first slimming club, does everything we just said, pays the bill, gets on the scale, gets the number, gets the shot, gets the Bible. Then for the first month, she will stick to the plan because she's excited, she's determined, her friend's doing it, she's losing weight, which again, we're going to explain, weight loss and fat loss, not the same things. She gets a half a stone award, everything's kind of going right. But then something happens, and this is usually in the first month or so. It's usually not on the goal side of like the date of the wedding or whatever. But you'll have a bad day in work, you'll have an argument with your husband or your partner, something will happen where you will go off the rails. It could be a night out with the girls, it could be anything, it could be the holiday or the wedding if you started the club within months to go. Then when you get back, because you feel guilty because you've had these foods which they're telling you is bad and you've not done their plans and bought their products, you know you've gained weight. You can feel it in your clothes. You can feel it in yourself. So you don't go back to that weigh-in because you feel guilty. And then you do leave. You stop replying to the messages if they do support you that way. I don't know. But then you soon find that your old habits come back. Everything that put you overweight, all them habits have come back. So the eating chocolate again, the eating bread again, the missing whatever you're kind of doing on that plan. And then eventually you'll just gain weight, but you don't gain just 10 stone. You don't gain your stone back or your half a stone back, whatever you lost. You always gain a little bit more. And this is the process that happens with every single person. And a lot of ladies just go through this for 10 years, never actually get the results. Most ladies are 3, 4, 5 stone heavier than when they actually started the plan now. Most ladies, if they looked in the mirror compared to when they first start, have less muscle mass, have less of an ass, feel softer with the body, even if they have lost weight, because they lose the muscle mass because they don't eat enough protein. The plans are up and down so much that the body is all over the place. And then all they do is they just repeat the same club, because we are humans, we are creatures of habit. We do what makes us feel comfortable. It's less anxious to walk into that slimming club that you know than to walk into somewhere that you don't know. It's normal. That's no different to anything else. And this is going to kind of link in pretty well with point 2 of the scales. And this is the main kind of tracking tool. The scales, aka the SAD step. If you get on this scale and the number has gone up, you might have been having a perfect week, what you thought was perfect. Get on the scale and the number's gone up. So that'll make you feel like shit. That'll make you want to kind of get out of there and not stay behind, because you don't want Beryl kind of giving you a pat on the back saying, oh, what's gone wrong and all that. But if that number goes down, that makes you feel amazing, and so it should. But you still need to be educated enough to understand why the number can go up and down. I don't know if you know much about boxing, but when a boxer goes to a weigh-in, they will dehydrate and do all the tricks that you probably do in that slimming club to get the number down as much as they can. This is so they have an advantage. So when they get off the scales, they put water back in the body, which obviously just balloons them up. They put food back in the body, but they don't gain body fat. They just gain weight, because weight and body fat are totally different. So they can go into that fight then weighing actually heavier than when they weighed in. And this is that's what boxing does. But the scales are an unhealthy way to do your long-term results. So we just mentioned about fat loss and weight loss being totally different. So when you did your weigh-in days, what did you used to do? I used to work in retail with ladies that did these clubs on a Wednesday night, and I swear they would not eat or drink all day. They want to do everything they can to get the weight loss down. They want to do everything they can so when they go in that club, they can get the weight loss down. So they wouldn't eat and they wouldn't drink all day. They would then get changed from work or at home into lighter clothes. It could be -50 outside, and they go in with a summer dress on, with shoes what are easily they get rid of, no bobbles in the hair, no hats on or anything like that. Take the jewelry off, all little tricks to kind of bring that number down. And then a few of them, and you might have done this yourself, is they would go for the emergency poo. Try and get that weight loss down. Do anything we can. Queue up. Get your wheeze out. Get whatever you can. But none of that there is fat loss. That is just weight. It doesn't matter. You can take someone who you want to look like, someone who you look up to fitness-wise, put them in double denims with a big hat on, with big boots on, feed them food, a big meal, feed them water or give them water, a little bit more salt so they hold water, which I'm going to explain, get them on the scales and they could weigh 10.5 stone, let's say. Then the next day, strip them all off, get them on the scales again, and they could be below 10 stone. It's the same person. They've not lost half a stone of fat overnight. But this is scale driven, and it's so unhealthy, ladies. You need to really break away from this plan. So all these will play a part in the scale weight. Your water. If you are dehydrated like a boxer, you will weigh less on the scales. Even if you don't join me and you don't want to come to us and you don't want, even if you carry on at these clubs, if you do these tricks, you will win Slimmer of the Week every week. Your salt intake, if it's too much in a meal, your body will compensate by holding on to water to balance it out. So the more salt in your body, the more water in your body. You don't have to give salt up. It's an electrolyte. It's not a bad thing. That's another thing that's like uneducated side of it. You can go to a weigh-in on, say you weigh in at the same time every week on a Friday. So you go at 9 a.m., see Beryl, she'll weigh you in and you're 10 stone 1 week. You get your little certificates or whatever they do. Then the next week, it's your son's birthday on the Thursday. So you go out for a meal, you have a bit of birthday cake, you're still being good, you're being aware that you've got weigh-in tomorrow. So you go into that weigh-in the next week, even though you've had a good week, you've done your training, your steps and your water and all that kind of thing, you feel really confident, you go in and you've gained weight or you've not lost any weight. This can be a massive kick in the arse, that the fact that you can throw the towel in, that you think that the week's been wasted and all that. It's just because you have a different amount of food in your belly compared to the last weigh-in. Honestly, it's so crazy that I don't teach this. Stress. If you've got stress in your life, or 1 week to the next, that can play a big part, because that plays a big part in your lifestyle. But it doesn't mean that you're gaining body fat. Then you've got time of the day. If you weigh in an evening to a morning, you'll get different results. If you weigh in Monday to Tuesday, different results. Ladies, a massive one for you, obviously, because of what your bodies go through compared to mine, is you will weigh in at different times. Like, don't weigh in Monday and then the next Monday and then the next Monday. Do it as, if you are going to weigh in, do it as a 4, and then compare week 1 to week 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and 4 to 4, because your bodies are totally different from week 1 to week 3. And then obviously the time of the month, you're guaranteed to hold water. It's just what your bodies do. It does not mean you have gained body fat. A better way to do things is your measurements. Photos won't lie. Weigh your hips, your waist, your leg, your arm, whatever you want to do, and then just repeat them monthly, because your weight doesn't have to move on the scales for you to lose body fat. If you build a little bit of muscle, that's what toned is, a good sized muscle with low body fat around it, you will look lean, but your weight might not change on the scales. Photos will tell a better story than what the scales tell. Obviously, if your clothes feel better and you drop a dress size, you don't have to actually lose that much weight on the scales to drop a dress size. The scales won't show you your energy levels. Now you're eating more food. It won't show you your confidence that you can go out and put a dress on or put a pair of jeans on. You don't have to wear a hoodie all the time. It won't show you confidence in your relationship, that you might have sex with the light on now, that you're more confident to do things with your partner anymore because you're not hiding, because this cycle of weight loss and weight gain, and you now gaining more weight than when you started and were older and less confidence and all that, it does play a part in the relationship. And also you can do this kind of proper nutrition lifestyle with your partner, with your kids, and get them involved. Obviously the social side I just mentioned, if you're on 1,000 calories and you're not drinking alcohol and you're not eating bread and all that, like it can play a massive part on your social side. And then a big one for myself as a dad is being a role model to our kids. I wouldn't want my kids doing Slimming World and juice diets and all that kind of stuff. So why would I do them when they're watching? And then obviously a big one is your happiness. I've yet to meet anyone who kind of comes to me after these slimming clubs who is happy. They don't really understand anything. They're frustrated and they just need help. And then guys, the 5 things that I wanted to talk to you about and things that you need to stop doing is stop giving up the foods that you enjoy, because you'll just feel guilty then when you have them. You don't have to give up bread, chocolate, wine, crisps, sweets. They are just calories. You just have to learn about nutrition to put them into your lifestyle. You will have a certain amount of calories, and it's more than 1,000 to still be in a deficit to get weight loss. I'm going to talk about protein in a sec anyway, but you need to kind of only be in a slight deficit. To do 1,000 calories, not sustain it, your body will kind of adapt to 1,000 calories. And then when you go back to your old habits and your old ways that you can't sustain these slimming clubs, that's why you balloon up on the scales and you balloon up in your clothes, and probably why you're wearing bigger clothes than when you did 5-10 years ago. Please stop doing sit-ups to get your stomach toned. Please stop doing these ab classes in the gym. They are a waste of time. To move your shoulder blades off the floor about that much, just to work your top foot, is not going to burn many calories. Do the big movements, your squats, your lunges. Learn, go and see someone about deadlifts. Do push exercises and pull exercises, because this is going to put a bigger demand on your body and start allowing your body to burn more calories, to build a little bit more muscle, and it will help you to keep body fat off long term. Sit-ups are a terrible exercise for weight loss. Please stop doing them. Also, a big one is get more steps in. This is easy for some people depending on your job, but if you can aim, and this is what we try to push, 70,000 a week, you will do really well on losing weight and sustaining weight loss long term. And then one, just to link to this, is please stop running if you are overweight, massively overweight, you've got sore joints and ankles and knees. This is just putting a force, an unnecessary force through your body, which you don't need for weight loss. It's very common that people go to slimming clubs and run to get weight. The Couch to 5K, for example. You were better doing squats, a low body move or impact movements, which are going to burn more calories. And then to get your fitness in, just walk. Please stop running if you are injured. Another one, a common one, and this is probably what you've done, I've been guilty of this in the past, is starting your diets on a Monday and going from 0 to 100 overnight. So on Sunday, you binge, get your last meal and all that. Monday comes, then you do no bread, no alcohol, no chocolate, no wine, no fun. You become guilty because you start looking at these foods as good and bad. Your kids want a pizza night and you rather think it's bad and you don't have it, which is not a good way of living for you or your kids to see. Or you do have it and you feel guilty and throw the towel in. And again, this is not healthy and why most people cannot sustain the results long term. And then a big one, what most people don't really understand, is protein. You need to start eating more protein, ladies. This is not going to turn you into a man and turn you, it's not just needed for people in the gym. It's going to give you better hair, better nails, better skin, but it's also going to fill you up more. It takes more calories to digest protein than any other foods, protein, carbs or fats. So if we can start putting this in your meals, you'll be fuller for longer to stop your snacking. It will also help you to keep your muscle mass. So when you start training and moving and you lose weight, it will allow you to keep your bum, your quads, your muscles, and it'll stop you getting like bingo wings and back fat, because the muscle there will stay, body fat will come down, and that is what toned is. Please don't look at protein as just what lads need in the gym. We all need it. As you get older, you're going to start losing muscle mass. So let's do what we can now to keep the muscle mass, to get a healthier lifestyle and start kind of living the lifestyle that you want. The more times you do these fad diets and slimming clubs and do these 5 things, the further you're going away from the actual results you want. That is my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, please email over or message me, Sana Fitness. I'll write my number here as well. So if you do want to message me, it's 077 257 46298. Please message me if you've got any questions on this, and I will gladly have a chat with you all just to give you any more tips. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've taken something away from it. I know I can't make you leave the clubs, but just start doing your research a little bit more. But I guarantee if you can break away from that mindset and that diet lifestyle, you have more chance of getting and keeping the results you want long term while learning about nutrition, so you can pass it on to your kids and family. Thank you for listening. My name's Gav, and I'll see you soon.